in the least surprising headline in the world today, apparently the ACT Party is full of conspiracy theories. Let's have a look as to what News Hub had to say.
You were
Tēnā koutou katoa, good evening. Te Pāti Māori shocked Parliament today when co-leader Rawiri Waititi appeared to breach a court suppression order. And the day's political drama doesn't end there.
The ACT Party was forced to hose down concerns about conspiracy theorists in its lineup. One candidate quit today, while leader David Seymour revealed another stood down a month ago. Here's political editor Jenna Lynch.
Well, this is weird.
This is a love song for Jacinda Ardern in the key of E-flat major.
A secretly shelved ACT candidate wrote numerous songs about Jacinda Ardern.
Secretly shelved. Secretly shelved. So ACT didn't want transparency on this situation.
If somebody sneezes, she'll shut down your school.
Even
for
referencing
fuck's
Soviet-forced labour camps.
But she's just thinking about throwing you in a gulag.
Well, he hasn't been a candidate for over a month, and I'm pretty happy about that now.
He's not
whole
ACT's
month.
only problem. Another one bit the dust today after social media comments were uncovered of her comparing vaccine mandates to Nazi Germany and concentration camps.
We've actually done a very good job of vetting over 60 candidates. There are some...
Well,
No.
it depends on your term. Very good job.
that have slipped through the net and they're now gone. Or have,
that compared COVID to concentration camps?
yeah, and that's absolutely unacceptable, as I've said. And that person will no longer be a candidate for the ACT Party.
You know, the fact that ACT have been selecting these people really is a bit of a warning sign of what you could get under a national ACT New Zealand First government.
And that's fair on some level, as we've been saying. This is the audience. Even if they clean up their MPs, their candidate list, if that's completely cleaned up, and I guarantee it won't be, but even if they clean it up, these are still the people voting for them. If they're the people voting for them, they're the voices that want their representation in government. So yeah, it's more than just the candidates. How long have we been saying this for? Whether it's Plunkett's dilemma, Luxon's dilemma, Seymour's dilemma of trying, as he's doing in these conversations, to distance himself from those comments while still having to pitch his party to get those votes.
Yeah, I've said Seymour's biggest political success was the fact that he managed to keep his current MPs' mouths shut, so we didn't find out how crazy they are.
Yeah.
So this is just, he had a good run.
He had a good run.
Seymour was one of the only politicians to meet with anti-mandate protesters during the occupation outside Parliament today that came home to bite him in Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, coming from a member who's being propped up by a bunch of anti-vax conspiracy theorists, I think that question's a bit rich.
And I think that's actually a fair, but being propped up by, i.e., this is your constituency. And yes, I mean, it's not the only constituency. You know how we talk about Trumpites? We say that, you know, not everyone who votes for Republican is racist, but the racists vote for Republican. Not everyone who votes for ACT is an anti-mandate, anti-vaxxer, but people who are that seem to be wanting to vote for ACT, especially if New Zealand First hovers around that 4% mark. They will be taken off the table by some going, I'm not going to waste my vote, I'll vote for ACT instead. So this is your constituency.
The member himself is being propped up by a bunch of anti-vaxxers.
The House getting testy as the parliamentary term comes to a close. Te Pāti Māori co-leader Rawiri Waititi used his parliamentary privilege to make claims about an active court case. We can't broadcast his claims as they could breach court-ordered suppressions. It shocked the Parliament.
I can't believe, frankly, what I've just heard. The tikanga of this House is well known and should be respected.
Unusual, unwise, and shouldn't be repeated.
I'm just not going to comment on that for pretty obvious reasons.
I'm staying right out of that.
What Rawiri Waititi did today is clearly a contempt.
It was all a bit much for the Speaker.
I'd like everyone to calm down, thank you.
Possibly everyone hoping for a bit of calm, but all they're getting is chaos.
Oh, interesting. All they're getting is... I like this one from JK. Makes a lovely comment. 99.99% of ACT members give the rest a really bad name. Perfect. It's a perfect comment. So anyway, there's a couple of things, right? I mean, I don't know if there's much of a story in the anti-vaxxer, anti-mandate group, because of course, what the fuck did you expect? Right. I did want to talk about that Rawiri Waititi thing a little bit carefully, obviously, But let's just go to this first story first of all, right, which is about the anti-vaxxers and stuff. So this is the story here in the Herald, just to give some more detail. An ACT candidate has resigned after historical comments comparing COVID-19 vaccine mandates to Nazi concentration camps came to light. Another candidate has apologised and renounced online comments which suggested drownings were connected to the effect of vaccines. But he is being kept on as a candidate. ACT leader David Seymour says the party's Rangatata candidate, Elaine Naidu-Franz, 29th on the list, had offered to stand down after One News brought her previous comments to Seymour's attention today. Seymour said he accepted her offer on the spot. There is more as well. Darren Gilchrist, 48 on the list, had to apologise to Seymour over comments he made, which included, I think I actually did it here, which included the thing about the drowning. Here it is there about the drowning.
Yeah, there were a couple of drownings, and he was like, maybe they drowned because they had myocarditis because of the jab. I think
there's there's another one. Seymour also referred another former candidate, Anto Coates, who Seymour said had left the party for personal reasons. Now, what was this whole thing about coalition of chaos we keep hearing? What was that thing about? I mean, there's 4 candidates so far, 4 of them being bought out, and then there's the parody song guy as well. This afternoon, Seymour was questioned about another former candidate, Scott Bonus, who was 41st on the list and intending to contest for Auckland Central electorate, according to a July newsroom article. Seymour said he was not aware of anything problematic relating to Bonus's departure. Asked whether he would check up, Seymour replied, "Yeah, probably now, yeah." Propped up by anti-vaxxers, rival parties set out ACT. Rival parties have used the news of Franz's resignation to criticise ACT for the kind of supporters it has attracted, and that's what it's about. The supporters it's attracted more so even than the candidates. And we've been through all of that. Green Party co-leader Marama Davidson said today's revelations were consistent with what she believed were ACT's intentions. It's a little bit typical, I think, of where the ACT Party actually wants to land, a lot of looking into the fringes, so I'm not too surprised. Te Pāti Māori co-leader Debbie Ngaruapaka was also unsurprised by the news, claiming such beliefs were common amongst ACT supporters. Now, what I've done, when the story came out, I actually went and had a look at their ranking. There she is. And you know what I thought I'd do? I haven't refreshed it since I put it up there at like 11 o'clock this morning. So we're going to refresh it live right now and see if number 29 is still number 29. You ready?
Can we also check if my boy David Seymour too is still there?
Oh, okay. We can do that. So what do you think? Are they, I mean, they've got all the money for all the billboards. Do they have the money to get their IT sorted out quickly enough? Let's see. So about 11 o'clock this morning, I uploaded this page and I haven't touched it since. So let's go refresh and see who the candidates are.
Redacted.
Oh, number 29, Keith Griffins. There you go.
I've just been disappeared into some sort of
Maybe it was the vaccine, and that's why they disappeared.
I'm just asking questions, Pat. I'm just asking questions.
Now, let's your thoughts on that first.
I got 2 thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Seymour said the right thing.
Yeah, of
that
course.
he didn't agree, and they were gone. However, with a party that's around 10-12%, and that has such views right through that look at National and go, you know what, their views aren't as hard as I would like them, and if I go any further right, I'm just in crazy town. So ACT is the party for me. I think him making such a strong statement by going, I disagree with what these guys are saying and they're gone, I think it would hurt him.
Maybe, yeah, I hear you.
I think they'll go, hang on, you were supposed to be one of us.
Although,
when
you look at this in America, and people say things like, well, you know, Trump got the vaccine, they go, oh yeah, but he had to. He doesn't believe in it, but he had to. So there'll be that as well. There'll be like them going, you know, David Seymour has to say that. He has to say that. But, you know, we know what he's thinking, but he has to say that. So, yeah, no, I feel you. I wondered that as well, like him not coming out and basically supporting the anti-vaxxer stance, how that would be taken by his anti-vaxxer constituency. But I think though it's that cognitive dissonance, the way that they'll just go, well, our end game is to anything but Jacinda. So even if he's changing some of his positions, we're still going to vote for him no matter what.